Hi David, I'm Ezelle from the upcoming Lovely to Meet You. So congratulations on a fantastic film. So can you tell us a little bit about the character you play and how you got involved in the project?
I play Christopher Edwards, who is part of the Susan and Christopher Edwards, who were convicted of murdering Susan's parents in 2013, and they'd killed them in 2090 in 1998, and they'd buried them for 15 years and kept it a secret. And so that's that. They're the facts. What we've made is something quite fantastical and beautifully imaginative and surreal in terms of telling this story, because they themselves, particularly Susan, were fantasists, really. They spent all the money that they made through this crime on Hollywood memorabilia, signed photographs, etc., and were in apparently a correspondence with Gerard Depardieu. These were all true facts that really hooked me into the script in the first place, because they're so extraordinary details as to their motivation. So it's yeah.
And how did you find working with Olivia Colman and such a fantastic cast?
Just wonderful, of course. It was just a pleasure to go to work every day, because we had such a interesting and funny time, and I've had a funny, lovely time even publicising the thing. And the rest of the cast. All you'll see. It's not just about our characters. It's very much also about the police investigation, and the actors playing the police, I think, are just extraordinarily good and very funny, and it's quite unexpected. But they're as big a part of the show as we are.
And it's not just a crime story, it's a love story too, isn't it?
It's very much a love story, which is a strange angle on making a film about two real convicted murderers. It's a very brave thing to do, I think, but because of this fantasist element, I think it's appropriate, and I hope people can appreciate it for that.
And obviously you've done some fantasy before in some of your previous roles. How did you find filming these scenes, fantastical scenes with Olivia?
Well, wonderful, because they don't really bear any resemblance to anything else I might have done in terms of, with sort of green screen stuff and real sort of full-on solid industrial fantasy. This was much more kind of European, Buñuel-esque, Lars von Trier's, all kind of strange elements of theatricality they're just are a whole different thing for me, and much more enjoyable, I must say. Yeah.
And what do you hope viewers will take away from this film?
I hope they'll understand that we're trying to make something about storytelling, really. I think it's as much as that about anything, about how to tell a story, how to take a true story like this, which has some very grim, dark aspects to it, and how that can be communicated through this medium in a more imaginative way than normal. So it's a piece of entertainment. There's lots of serious themes, I could say, that could take away from it, but for me, right now, I'd say it's something to do with an original way of telling a story. Susan's parents. It's not a whodunit. We were told that from the very beginning, and what we've decided to do, what Ed and Will decided to do, is look at this as a love story, which is a rather controversial way of approaching a true crime story, and therefore that's how I looked at it. I think how Olivia looked at it, going, let's look at this, not to forget what really happened, but to look at that first, and then paste on top of that the horror of what they actually did, but see them therefore as real people before we see them as victims of themselves and perpetrators of a crime, but to get to the real emotional people first. I admired him very much, and he was a very wonderful gentleman, and very humorous and very, very generous, and I didn't quite get anything I'd been told otherwise, and I haven't seen any of that. I did it quite a long time ago now, but I've got no idea what that's going to be like, and I wasn't in water. No. As far as I understand, I know Jim has pushed forward boundaries of technology even further. Well, it's one of the fascinating things about Jim is he's a film director, obviously, but he's also an artist. He's sat at the side of the stage sketching the characters, sketching the production design, and he's also an engineer, which I think gives him an edge in terms of pushing forward new technologies. I know there were new cameras being used, totally new experience in motion capture being used. I've seen just a small fraction of what's been going on, but if there's anyone who can really push cinema into a new zone, I think it's him. of him and be able to sort of investigate a character from more than just in one direction, from many different facets. Magical, surreal, bonkers. The most surprising thing about why he, without giving too much away, really the most interesting thing for me to discover about him was as to why, after all these years, he decided to end the story. Why he decided to hand themselves in and really betray them both and decide to end this love story. And still trying to understand that.